Imagine the perfect postcard from the Bahamas. White sandy beaches, turquoise waters, and an unending sunny sky. This is the dream that attracts many to consider living in this archipelago. But what's the reality behind the glossy tourist brochures? Living in the Bahamas is a complex experience woven with both charming allure and significant challenges. For some, life in the Bahamas fulfills every tropical fantasy. For others, it presents unforeseen difficulties that can temper the dream. In this exploration, we'll walk along its sunlit beaches and shadowed lanes, uncovering the pros and cons of Bahamian living. This isn't just a vacation destination, it's a place where real people live, work, and play. From the cost of groceries to the warmth of community gatherings, life here is a unique blend of the spectacular and the mundane. Let's dive deeper into what it really means to call the Bahamas home, examining both its glittering appeal and the realities that lie beneath its surface. The imagery of the Bahamas often evokes a sense of perpetual vacation. With over 700 islands and cays, each offers its own slice of beauty and tranquility. Residents can enjoy a morning coffee overlooking the Atlantic, followed by an afternoon of snorkeling in clear blue waters. This close connection with nature can significantly enhance one's quality of life. However, living in such a picturesque environment also fosters a deep appreciation for the natural world, which can be profoundly fulfilling. Residents often adopt a slower, more measured pace of life, attuned to the rhythms of the sea and the seasons. This can lead to a more mindful, peaceful existence, far removed from the hustle of metropolitan anxiety. Yet, this dreamlike setting is not without its interruptions. Being heavily reliant on tourism, the islands can feel overcrowded during peak seasons, which contrasts sharply with the tranquility residents typically enjoy. This influx can strain local resources and alter the serene atmosphere, presenting a challenge to the year-round inhabitants. One of the most significant drawbacks of living in the Bahamas is the high cost of living. Most goods, including basic groceries, are imported, leading to prices that are considerably higher than in many countries. This can make daily life unexpectedly expensive for both locals and expatriates, affecting their quality of life. Housing too reflects this high cost. Whether renting or buying, accommodations in desirable areas, especially those near the beach or in tourist-centric locales, come with a hefty price tag. This economic barrier can be prohibitive for many, potentially excluding them from the most idyllic parts of Bahamian life. Additionally, while the absence of income tax is a significant draw, other taxes and fees, particularly import duties, can be steep. This financial structure benefits certain income brackets while placing a heavier burden on others, particularly those employed in lower-wage industries, which are also often the backbone of the local economy. The Bahamas is not just about the famous beaches. Its environmental diversity is breathtaking. From the lush green bush medicines of Andros to the mysterious blue holes of Abaco, the natural wonders here are both a draw and a joy for residents. This connection to a unique natural heritage is a profound privilege. Moreover, the opportunities for outdoor activities are nearly limitless. Fishing, sailing, diving, and simply exploring the myriad islands can fill weekends and holidays with adventure. This immersion in nature isn't just recreational, it's a way of life that fosters a deep bond with the environment, enriching residents' lives. However, living in such proximity to nature also requires facing the challenges it can present. Hurricane season brings a very real threat each year, necessitating preparedness that can be both stressful and costly. The beauty of the Bahamas is matched by its natural forces, which all residents must respect and adapt to. Community and culture. The heartbeat of the Bahamas. The Bahamian community is characterized by its warmth and hospitality. Festivals like Junkanoo bring everyone together in a vibrant display of culture and history, highlighting the island's rich heritage and the strong sense of community among residents. This cultural vibrancy makes living in the Bahamas uniquely enriching. Family ties are also strong here, with generations often living close together or in the same household. This close-knit family structure supports individuals throughout their lives, from childcare to elder care, creating a supportive network that is invaluable in times of need. Yet, the insular nature of small island communities can also mean that privacy is limited and newcomers might feel like outsiders for quite some time. Integrating into tight-knit communities has its challenges, requiring new residents to be proactive in engaging with locals and participating in community events to build trust and friendship. Accessibility, island isolation. Living on an island brings a unique set of logistical challenges, primarily related to transportation. While the views during a ferry ride can be stunning, the reality of needing a boat to reach a hospital or even just to shop for groceries can complicate everyday life and requires good planning. Air travel between islands, although frequent, can be expensive and subject to weather-related disruptions. This can make both travel and the transportation of goods inconsistent and sometimes unreliable. Residents must often plan significantly ahead, particularly when ordering items that are not available locally. Furthermore, the reliance on imports for many necessities means that in times of global disruption, such as during a pandemic, supply chains can be severely affected. Living in the Bahamas requires a degree of self-sufficiency and forethought that might not be necessary in more connected locales. Safety and security, a mixed bag. The Bahamas is generally a safe place to live, with a laid-back lifestyle and low crime rates in many of its communities. However, like any location, it has areas that are less safe than others. Tourist areas in particular can be targets for petty theft and other minor crimes. Efforts by local law enforcement are ongoing to improve safety and ensure that residents and visitors alike can enjoy all that the Bahamas has to offer without fear. Community policing and neighborhood watches are common, fostering a cooperative relationship between the police force and community members. Yet the isolated nature of many islands can mean that help is not always immediately accessible. For emergencies, particularly medical ones, the time taken to reach a fully equipped facility can be crucial. This aspect of island living is often overlooked by those accustomed to the immediate response times available in larger cities. Opportunities and employment prospects in paradise. The Bahamian economy is primarily driven by tourism and banking. For those with experience in these sectors, there are opportunities to be found. The growing focus on ecotourism and sustainable practices also opens new avenues for employment, particularly in environmental conservation and related fields. Entrepreneurship is encouraged, and the government offers various incentives for starting a business, particularly those that cater to tourists or utilize local resources. This can be a rewarding path for those willing to navigate the complexities of doing business in a small, somewhat isolated market. However, the job market is not as diverse as in larger countries, and finding employment outside of the main industries can be challenging. This lack of diversity can limit opportunities, particularly for young people and those seeking careers in less traditional fields. For expatriates, work permits and other legal requirements can also pose significant hurdles. Education and healthcare. Essential services. The Bahamas boasts a number of reputable schools, particularly in Nassau and Freeport, where education standards are high and students are well prepared for both local and international tertiary education. However, educational facilities on the more remote islands can be less equipped, affecting the consistency of education across the archipelago. Healthcare, similarly, varies widely. In major cities, hospitals and clinics are well equipped and staffed by trained professionals, but on smaller islands, medical facilities can be basic, and in some cases, residents may need to travel to Nassau or even abroad for certain treatments. Accessibility to these essential services can be a deciding factor for those considering a move to the Bahamas. While the government is making efforts to improve these services across all islands, the disparities remain a significant challenge, reflecting the broader issue of uneven development in island nations. Conclusion: the true colors of paradise. Living in the Bahamas is undoubtedly a unique experience, rich with natural beauty and community spirit. The idyllic images of sandy beaches and crystal-clear waters are only part of the story. Residents navigate a complex landscape of economic, social, and environmental challenges that shape their everyday lives. Despite these challenges, the allure of the Bahamas remains strong. The combination of a vibrant culture, supportive communities, and the undeniable beauty of the islands creates a compelling argument for island life. For those willing to embrace both its charms and its challenges, the Bahamas offers a distinctive and rewarding lifestyle. In the end, like any place, the Bahamas is what you make of it. It can be a paradise, but it's not without its shadows. Understanding and accepting these realities makes the sunlit moments even more precious.